Hey everybody. Happy Wednesday. Today is June 26th and it is 7:36 a.m. Central Time. I've been up for about an hour and a half. I just posted a long form video. Check it out, as well as others and my shorts. You guys that have been doing it already, I really appreciate you. This is a pre-recorded actual live. I'm going to upload. I'm doing this for testing purposes, as well as to take the opportunity to just talk to you guys and ask you if you would, if you should, if you would like to ask me any questions in the comments. This is that live that I will be looking at to see if you guys got any questions about me, my content, my life, what I've been through, what I've shared, stuff like that. And if anybody would like to come on my next live on the panel just to shoot the shit, no pressure. Or if you would like to tell your story, what you're going through now, what you've been through, something to share with others, it can help somebody. You never know, depending on what your story is about. I'm sure somebody will be helped, somebody will be blessed, somebody can resonate with it. So, with that being said, I'm going to just start off with saying my name is Ready Rocks Dances. Name speaks for itself, aka also known as my birth name is Roxanne Lefford. I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, September 11, 1966. I had two daughters, Essence and Pache, 1988 and 1989. I did not get married till I got like 43 years old. That was my first marriage. It lasted 7 years. You know, for me to talk about that, that would be like different stories in between what happened. But I'm not going to get into them. Just basically give me y'all like facts, not a whole lot of details about that, because that's a part of my past, and I'm in a good place with it. The healing is taking place, the forgiveness is taking place. That's just a part of my life, and it's in the past. I am now currently married, but separated, living in the same house. Why? Because I cannot afford to go on my own at this time with 5 grandkids. My daughter passed away April 20th of 2021. My youngest daughter, which is Pashe, my oldest daughter, Essence, she uh she is actually a creator on here. She does tarot cards. So if anybody would just like to support the channel, even if you're not into that sort of thing, but just to support, to say hi to her subscribers, and you never know, just to watch her videos, just to see what it's like if you don't know already. So her name is Mental. Let me look it up real quick while I'm on here. I don't want to tell y'all the wrong name. If I can tag it, I will, but I'm not sure if I can. Because, like I said, this is like me just testing this out. I never did this before. Still actually learning how this live thing goes. And okay, her name is Mental Alchemist. Mental Alchemist. That's Mental Alchemist, Alchemist. If I can tag it, I will though. Anyway, like I said, my youngest daughter, Pashe, she passed away April 20th, 2021. She had 5 children, 1 boy and 4 girls. Uh, Imagine being as young as they was. The oldest was 12, and then the rest of them went on down to like 6 years old. So imagine being a child and losing your mama, you know. So you can imagine the trauma that they was going through, and it's a day-to-day struggle. There are good days, bad days, sad moments, happy memories. They're thriving to as well as to be expected. Me myself, I'm much better than I was, but I'll never be completely my regular self, the person that loved to have company over. It all started in 2020 for me, right before my mom passed, because I lost a nephew and I lost a good friend. It was which was an ex, but we turned to be really good friends. Like I relied on this person. I took that person for granted that they would always be like always have access to him. He always have access to me. It was just a call away. And if we ever lost contact, I knew so many people in his family that it wouldn't be nothing for me to contact him and say, hey, get Reggie my number. Tell him I said hit me up or whatever. It was just like that. I relied on him no matter what I was going through in my marriages or relationships, no matter what he was going through. He was there for me. My father passed away. He came the same night. Now we talking about he lived 3 hours away because I wasn't always living where I live at now. I actually moved down to Bloomington, Illinois in 2004 and stayed there about 12 years. Only reason why I relocated back to where I am now is because after my first husband left, we were separated. One divorce, wasn't even talking about divorce, but after he left, and after so much back and forth and not getting along throughout the years, back and forth, I just decided that that was the route we was gonna take anyway. Eventually, I was already 15 years older than him, and it just seemed like he was there. And at first, it wasn't like that. Now, first two and a half years was great. Then after that, it was just like I started noticing, feeling like he might have some regrets because he see other things. He out there working, he out there hanging out, and other women is pushing up on him about him being, not sure or having a double mind or change of heart. It is what it is. You can't get mad at nobody for not feeling you no more and not loving you no more. And I thought it was gonna be all good because he was already married, at one point, and had kids and everything. So I figured I'm the one that's this new to me. Is this really what I want? I was used to being on my own. So, but it was good. It was good. It is. I appreciate the fact that we got to the point where we could be honest with each other. And before he left, I knew he was going to leave and all that stuff. So it wasn't like I'm leaving right now. It wasn't no real shock. So, but when something like that happened, you sitting around like trying to let your feelings marinate, like see how you gonna feel. I'm thinking I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. Everybody over here because it's a holiday. But when everybody go back to their regular life and I'm here, kids at school, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just pretty much here by myself. I'm gonna cry. That never happened. So anyway, like I said, reason why I relocated up here because right after he left November and then February. Because from November to February, I was doing my regular routine, just going to the health club down the street. It wasn't even a block away. I could take the kids with me while my daughter's working. I could take them to the child care while I go to Zumba, work class, while I go to Pilates, or whatever I want to do. I could take them, and then when I got done, I would get them and take them to the gym and let them run around. It was a beautiful little routine, you know what I'm saying? And before he left, I was already doing that a lot. Like I'm talking about 5-6 days a week. So I think that's part of the reason why I wasn't really depressed like that. I was just sitting around waiting to see what was going to happen to me emotionally and mentally. And it felt good. So here come February. For some reason, I thought about Anthony Brock. I'm like, why is that name popping in my head? I hadn't thought about that man or even seen him in about 20 years maybe. So I was like, I'm going to see if he's on Facebook. Now, mind you, I'm sitting there drinking wine at the time, thinking about it. Now, my little neighbor upstairs, Miss Oliver, rest her soul, rest in peace. She passed away last year. But anyway, it's another story. If she was my upstairs neighbor, she'll come check in with me. She'll bring me stuff from the store. She'll take me grocery shopping. She'll watch the kids while I run to the store to play lottery or get some food or whatever, anything. She was just like a ride or die. And man, I miss her. But anyway, she would come down there and talk to me while I'm sipping my wine and stuff. So that was a good distraction. She had good words of encouragement because she was like a Christian type lady. She went to church and stuff like that, and she did not push it on you. She was not like a raw street negative person at all. She was a sweet, but upfront about her downfalls and her faults and stuff like that. But the way she came across made you just really, really like her. She was like that with everybody. Nobody had nothing bad to say about her. But I remember I bring her up because I remember I'm visualizing all this as I'm saying it. You know what I'm saying? You know how you start telling the story and you start seeing what you was doing and what was around your environment. So that's why I'm bringing her up. So she would be down there. So I recall thinking about him. And I think me and her was talking. And I got distracted and forgot to look him up on Facebook. So the next day, I'm sitting there sipping on my wine again, watching TV, just marinating my feelings. And he popped in my head. I'm like, damn, why am I thinking about him again the second day? Oh, well, let me look right now on Facebook, because if I don't, I'm going to keep sipping and I'm going to forget, fall asleep, and I'm going to forget again. So I looked him up, and sure enough, he was there. The first thing I said, I was like, yeah, that's him. He just old it, because it was like a picture of him. I clicked on the profile because I wasn't really sure. And I started looking through the pictures, and I seen one picture of him outside like he was DJing with a cigarette in his mouth. I said, yeah, that's him. Shit. Life take a toll on you. We talking about not seeing somebody for like 20 years, or maybe even more. I said, shit, he drink, or he used to drink. So I ain't gonna just assume he drink heavy like that. I'm just gonna, maybe he just age, and maybe he might be sick. I don't know. So I inbox him, thinking he gonna be like, well, I'm married and this going on, and I don't live in Chicago no more, or I still stay in Chicago. How's your family? I don't think we're gonna have that regular conversation, which can go all kind of ways, up, down, right, left, side to side. You know what I'm saying? And not thinking nothing else of it. Like, we'll just add each other on Facebook, and from time to time get on each other posts just to say hi, Merry Christmas, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how that shit go. But we end up talking, and then we'd talk some more and talk some more, and I was like, come on down and see me. And he was like, about 2 weeks. So I guess he was trying to wait till he got paid. And I was like, well, if you want to, I can send for you. And they were $14 on the Amtrak, and come next week instead of waiting 2 weeks. Because I was really excited about seeing somebody I hadn't seen that long, who had good rapport with me. We had a good time back in the days. And we weren't in no serious relationship, but we had serious fun. You know what I'm saying? And I don't never recall really going off on him, and him never going off on me. So I'm like, and the conversation felt good. And we talking about somebody older now. So I'm like, just to hang out, have fun, not expecting nothing to go nowhere, especially that fast. My husband just left. You know what I'm saying? At the time, separate. I'm still married. So I wasn't thinking nothing like that. But child, next thing you know, we just got to talking, and he's telling me what he was going through and who he was seeing and what they said and what happened to him in his past. And I'm telling them about my shit. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, we decide after like probably 3 months, it wasn't even 3 or 4 months, we decided that maybe we should go and pick up where we left off at. I always wanted to be with you, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why we couldn't do it back then. And I should have known someone right when we started talking about certain things that happened back then. That to me is like a sign that they say it more than once. It's like, let me chill. Let me really vet this person and see how they mind really work and what's in their heart for real. So anyway, that's the only reason why I came back up this way after deciding that after my husband left and my finances weren't the same, and I wasn't on Section 8 no more. So we talking about just having a once a month income. And then my daughter was working. She could have, helped me out, don't get me wrong, but her life was going, in such a crazy way with all the stuff she was going through. And it was just really negative. I mean, negative, negative. It wasn't just no, I'm sick of these people or I'm sick of this relationship. It was bad. So it was like, maybe this outside to go on, because he was like, you can bring all them, she can get on her feet, blah, blah, blah. And ain't too many men gonna say that. So I was like, that's a sign from God. Maybe that's why I thought about him. Like, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't thinking about nothing else. Like, my mama gonna pass away 4 years later. I have 4 years. Now I'm getting to that now, right? My mom, me and her was always had a decent relationship, you know. But I wasn't living there no more. But she'll come visit me, and then when I come in town, I almost left me go on there. But for her to be getting older as she was, it was like, I'm guessing that God knew, well, of course he knew that I at least have those last 4 years for her to be there with her, like side by side, day by day, her last days, whatever. Because if I had never moved back, I probably wouldn't have seen her but once a year, if that much. But she was getting too old just to be getting on the Amtrak and come, when you have to have a walk and all that, or a cane. So it wasn't going to be that easy for her as the years go by. Because when I first came down here, she was still walking pretty good. She just needed a little cane, but she could go 2 or 3 blocks on her own. But I remember one day we was walking from the store, and she told me she was suffering from a condition. I ain't gonna say what the condition was or whatever, but she told me, and I don't know if she felt like I was gonna be feeling some type of way, which I was kind of shocked, but I wouldn't, because I can kind of, figure out like, okay, I visualize that happening, and that's part of life when you doing certain things and you hanging out with certain people and blah blah blah. Anyway, but we took time for those 4 years, because we always liked to go gamble together. Back in the day when I was in my 20s and early 30s, we would always go to the casino together. That was our thing. So of course we couldn't do that no more when I'm not living no more close to her, but when she come visit me, we would go play bingo or go to the casino. More likely bingo, because the casino was 20 minutes away, and it wasn't a good casino. It was hard to win at the casino because they had no competition in the area. So them slots was not loose. So anyway, I got over that real quick. So now that I look back on it, it's like, okay, I'm glad that I did move down here, because it was like pros and cons. Now think about it. We got down here 2016, May 1st, 2020. I'm sorry. We got out here May 1st, 2016. And my mom lasted 4 years because she passed June 9th, 2020. And my daughter lasted 5 years. She passed away April 20th, 2021. And then sometimes, when things first happened, I was telling myself, well, I'm glad I did move down here because I got to spend those 4 years. And then when it came to my daughter passed away 10 months after my mom, I'm like, if I hadn't came down here, maybe she wouldn't have passed away. Which I knew that's not necessarily true, because as long as you involve yourself in certain things and you end up meeting the wrong type of people, which the wrong type of people exist everywhere. It don't have to necessarily be that person, because just think about her being with certain men, her baby daddies, and when those relationship was going to the left and the fighting was going on, and you get away from that, you're done with that. You don't want to be in that type of relationship. They're abusive, verbally, physically, and then you come this way, and 5 years later you go through something similar, and yeah, you out of here. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it pretty much, how could I put this? It don't really matter where you move to. Like Peach always talking about, she gonna move. It don't matter if you move. If you still making the same moves and got the same mindset and doing and saying the things that you're doing and saying, you're gonna take the drama wherever you go. Because you still you, and you gonna be with you. You got to change the way you think. You got to change your heart. You got to change the people around you. You got to change for the better. Do things differently. You know what I'm saying? And learn from your mistakes and keep moving. So now we get to my daughter passing away. And yeah, it's like a total shock. It's like, who expected that 31 daughter to leave and not come back? You know what I'm saying? And the story with that is, the report says fentanyl overdose. But I know that it wasn't no overdose, because my daughter would not take a $40 pill. Anybody that know her, that party with her, I'm talking about knowing her 10, 12 years or plus, that was partying with her, they all said, no way she would overdose on no, and she would take no $40 pill. Put it like that, because they would actually get $20 pills and cut them in half with a little knife, and then they'll split them, or they'll take one part right now while they sipping their wine, and then later on that evening or the next day they take the other half, or they get together and they party together, so they share them. So there's no way she would buy a $40 pill like the guy that she was with told me she did and take it. When he first got in my inbox at 1:15 that morning on the 21st, on the 20th, motherfucker, she left here on the 19th, that Monday night, that Monday at about 3 or 4 o'clock. She left on the 19th. That's a Monday. That next day on the 20th is when she passed away, 8:42 a.m. Now, I don't know this was when she passed, because I had to wait till the report come back, which took 3, 4 weeks, 2 months. I don't know shit. I can't remember a lot of stuff back then. Everything like a blur. So I got the call at 1:15. Well, I ain't getting no call. Let me take that shit back. I got the message on Facebook Messenger at 1:15. I still got every last one of them messages. I screenshot them. I posted them about a year and a half ago on TikTok. I told a little bit of the story about a year ago here, but I was new here and nobody really heard the story. So that's another reason why I'm telling it now, because I know a lot of y'all ain't heard the story. And when I go live and I talk about bits and pieces, not everybody's on the live. And when they on the live, they might have came after I already talked about that, or before I talked about it, then they end up leaving. So that's why we'll go ahead and talk about all this stuff on this recorded. And then if you want to ask questions, if you last long enough to be listen to this recording, then you will know what I'm talking about. You have a clear understanding about why I do what I do, what type of person I am, stuff like that. So I guess this first message saying that the man contact you about Pache, I hurt so fucking bad. Now, first of all, I'm just thrown off, because why in the fuck is you even in my inbox I ain't heard, seen, smelled your ass in about a year and a half. So like it's not resonate with me what he even saying. I know he said Pache, and I know who this is, but I'm like, he fucked me up by being in my inbox in the first place because we don't even talk. We haven't talked. My daughter ain't talking to you. You did what you did, and y'all been stopped talking. So I know she, you know what I'm saying? And I still ain't resonating death with it. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what are you talking about? What, because I thought she left with her boyfriend. I didn't know she left with him because the windows was tint, and I never seen the car no way. Uh, so we just assumed that she just went back to his house. She never did come in and tell me nothing. She told her daughter I'll be back tomorrow and took a little suitcase that she takes every time she go away to her cousin's house for 2 days because she will always every week clockwork. On her off day, she'll go to her cousin's house for a night or two, or she'll be with her boyfriend. Depends on who she's seen at the time. She got a consistent boyfriend, and they didn't live that far. So she would do this every Thursday or Friday and come back 2 days later. It was fine. If I had something to do that Friday, she would wait till I come back and then she'll go. But anyway, I'm like, what? What are you talking about? What man? You know, who says that? Who gets in somebody's messenger and say, did the man contact you about Pache? I heard so fucking bad. Now, that's the first message that started off this conversation. Now, I can't remember word for word without looking at those messages to tell y'all what was said. All I can do is know it was just, you know what I'm saying? I could just go through and skim through in my mind what was said because I wasn't even understanding what the fuck is you talking about and why are you even fucking talking to me in the first place. I don't fuck with you. So next thing I know, I tried to call. After a couple of texts, I tried to call. He didn't answer. Then he called me right back. And then he didn't sound like he hurt so fucking bad. He sounded like a regular, somber, nonchalant voice. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, ain't you in the hospital or what's going on? I'm like, he's got to saying something else. And I'm like, so you trying to tell me my daughter not here no more? And he's like, she gone. It just didn't feel right. Why the fuck is you telling me this in the way that you're approaching me with it? So then he started talking about, well, I took her before we went. I wanted to get some weed. Before we went to the hotel, I wanted to get some weed. And she told me to go get it from her friend that she get it from because she knows somebody already. And she got a $40 bill from him. And she took the whole thing. Those were his exact words. I can't remember if it was a text or was the time that we was talking on Facebook Messenger. I can't remember. But I know I can go back and look at every last one if I want to actually clarify anything for myself. So I'm like, $40 bill. So that's when I started telling people what he said to me. And they said, no, she would never take a $40 bill. We would share $20 bills. She knew better than that. That's too dangerous without the fentanyl. That is too strong. You know what I'm saying? It's not needed. We've been doing this for a long time, mama. This is what they saying to me, different people. Because I don't know nothing about the pill popping game, especially at that time. I really didn't know nothing. So anyway, so we just talking, texting back and forth. And next thing I know, we start calling around because I'm like, why is he only one telling us this? Why is he inboxing me, not calling, not coming by, but inboxing me saying something like this? So I had my daughter calling around and nobody knew nothing, could tell us nothing. And I'm like, police should be knocking on the door of nothing else. You know what I'm saying? We sitting here calling people and then getting no answers from people, and they don't know when we do get a chance to talk to somebody, they don't know that name and they don't have nobody like that. But finally, like an hour or two later, my daughter called the hotel where they was at and they verified that somebody passed away. So then next thing we know, we was able to call like the next day, the county morgue had our body. And then we called the police station and talked to the detective. And I'm like, well, why did you never come knock on my door to tell me what was happening? Well, I had to hear this from her, the guy she was with, her ex-boyfriend. He said, well, we went by the house that was on her address. I said, well, she don't know. She don't live there no more. He was just right there with her telling you what happened. So why didn't you get the address from him? He didn't want to tell me where you live. Don't you find that suspicious? Why would he not want to tell me if ain't nothing wrong and they just had and they kicking and partying and he's sitting there having a whole conversation with you, filing the report, telling his side of the story? So what would be wrong with him telling the officer, hold on, that's not the address? Because I'm sure while they was talking, he might have been like, you know what I'm saying? He would have mentioned that he picked her up and her mama don't know and this her mama phone number or this her mama address. Why would the detective tell me that he didn't want to tell me your address? That means they talked about it and he said, but that's a whole nother story when they get down to how I feel that the detectives handled it and why they handled it the way they handled it. Because just because somebody got a title, whether it be judge, whether it be officer, whether it be lieutenant, whether it be detective, it don't matter. These are still human beings, or so-called human beings, and everybody is not righteous in their heart or give a damn about their job. They still a person. And some of these people with these titles and these job descriptions, they go home and do the same things that regular people do. You know what I'm saying? They drink, they smoke, they pop pills, they beat up on their significant other, or they verbally abusive, or they're a good person. They do what they do. So just because that person got a title, that is nothing. So that just showed me right there that this person don't give a damn. He just happened to have the title as detective, and he don't give a damn because ain't no way you supposed to sit there and tell me that this boy didn't want to tell me where I lived at. And you sit here and just question him and let him go, and you ain't suspicious. I'm like, what's the footage? You need to get the footage of the hotel showing what time he left out. So by the time the coroner report come back and they say her body was there and she died around this time at that time. And if you see, you don't know what he told me. He said, well, we don't have no cameras in the hotel room. I said, I'm not talking about the hotel. I'm talking about the hotel. The hotel should have cameras that shows the lobby and that front door. And you should be able to see what time he left out. If the coroner say she passed away at 8:30 in the morning or 3 o'clock that morning, and he left out at 5, or he left out at 4, and then he came back at 7, and then he left out again at 11, but he ain't called you to 12, that will show you a reason to investigate him, because there's no way she would willingly take it. He had to force her with a gun or knife to her throat, or other people holding her down, or trick her into taking, telling her it's something else that it wasn't all the time. He knew it was had fentanyl in it. He knew it because the history of him threatening to shoot up our house and to beat her up and wanting her to be with him, that right there was enough reason for them to investigate him, because it don't make sense. Now, okay, let's fast forward 2 weeks later, y'all. The day of the funeral, he came with some guy. Nobody said nothing, but he felt the need to get in my inbox that evening and say how we made him feel. You know, he's a narcissistic, sick ass demon to sit there even tell me how we made him feel. So he started texting again in my messenger, talking about how happy. He say, y'all not the only one lost. So I know that's your daughter, and that's way more important to me, but I lost too. And she won't let me sleep. And she keep telling me she forgive me. And she keep, and you know what I'm saying? All this old crazy stuff about taking custody of her baby daughter, because they discussed her taking him, adopting her daughter before she passed away. And she had mentioned that to me like 6-7 months before they actually broke up. And I'm like, girl, I said, there you go. You need to get away from him. That man don't know you be somebody adopting your daughter, not marrying you, not building a life with you and everybody that's in your family, all your kids come along with. That's natural. There's a lot of men marry women with kids and they adopt them sometime and they have be one big happy family, Brady Bunch style, whatever. But this, he wasn't talking about marrying her. He was just talking about just adopting her daughter. But anyway, that's another story. So then he decides to tell me she took that pill and we cut it in 3 parts. I took 1 part, she took 2. Now, how you first contact me 2 weeks ago, telling me that the man contacting about Pasha, you hurt so fucking bad. She took a whole $40 pill by herself. Only reason why I ain't say nothing, because she said she be doing it all the time with her boyfriend. Now, 2 weeks later, after the funeral, you sit there and tell me it was a $40 pill and y'all broke it up in 3 parts. You took what he called it a pyramid. He said, I took 1 part, she took the other 2. And I was drinking. That's why I didn't get sick. Come on now. I'm not completely an idiot, and there's nothing to do research until people ask people how this go. So how is it she took 2 parts of it all of a sudden? But before you said she took the whole thing. You're lying. He's guilty. And right now, to this day, he's in jail for something totally different. People don't believe in karma. People don't believe that, that what comes around goes around. It don't matter what they believe. Shit. Some of them believe that they can kill people and get away with it, but it don't work that way. It's coming for you. But anyway, that's pretty much how that goes. So I have not heard from the detectives since that first conversation we had back in 2021, asking him why he did not knock on my door, blah, blah, blah. Every time we try to call, it was no answer. No, we might talk to him one more time after that. But after that, that's been no, they move. There's always a voicemail. You leave a message, they never call you back. Now, with all this stuff going on down here, now it's making sense why we have not heard from them, because they are not doing their job on no level. I don't even want to speak on that right now, but that it makes me open my eyes to see what we're dealing with. These folks don't care nothing about us over here. People that look like us and people of other races and cultures. You know, if those the type of people, and it ain't because of they color, it's because they mind and their heart and they status that went to their head. It's like a lot of people get a little status. A lot of these content creators around here get a big head, make some money, and they think they're indestructible. And they just, whoever they really are comes out. These people ain't changed. That's who they was anyway. It just took for certain things to happen to them or for them to really show their true colors. You know, just like when you get with somebody and the relationship so good, and then 6 months to a year later, they start want to abuse you verbally or mentally, you know, cheat on you. Maybe some of them be putting their hands on you, but at first you be like, he was so sweet, she was so sweet, she was so sweet. They was always that person. They was just, you know, hiding and showing their representative. But anyway, so after that, here we go, 3 years later, and I'm still sitting here dealing with this. This is a journey. A lot of people treat people who lose loved ones, kids, husbands, wives. They treat it like it's an event. This is not an event. This is a lifelong journey of healing, and each day brings something different. Some days you'll be able to smile with your memories, and other days them tears will fall, and you don't want to talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying? But there's always going to be growth in it, as long as you keep living. That's why I'm not even listening to some people, and they be crying and whining about a relationship. Like I have cried and whined about a relationship, which I never really cried about a relationship, but I have cried, you know, and got in my feelings about a marriage, because when I was just dating somebody, it wasn't that serious. You know what I'm saying? I get mad and check their ass and don't talk to them no more. You know what I'm saying? At least for a while. And then maybe we'll be friends again, but never really try to get serious with each other on no relationship stuff. It'll just be like, I know what it is. I'm not going back to that. But we can be cool. Or I just never talk to them again. But see, y'all sitting around here and you whining and crying about losing some man or some woman. And until you lose a loved one to death, especially a child or a real close parent, none of that is going to seem important, because at least the person that you love walked out your life and said they want to be with you no more. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they can dog you out and put their hands on you and just straight up just dogs you, because you shouldn't want to be nobody like that. No way. But think about it like this. At least that person's still alive. And there's always opportunity for y'all to get back together, should you and that person decide they want to ever get back together or reconcile and become friends and forgive one another with no hard feelings and move on. It's not that serious, y'all. It's just an illusion in your feelings and your heart, because it's something within you that you've been dealing with before you really found out this person did this or this person ain't that. And she really misrepresented herself. And she didn't tell me this, and she lied to me, and she took from me, and she broke my heart, and vice versa. Women say it too. You know, there's something within you. So I'm saying all that to say that if you're going through that, I'm not trying to act like you're not really hurt, because everybody is human and they hurt sometimes. But just you have to, and I used to be hurt like that, you know what I'm saying, in previous marriage, you know what I'm saying, and I had to tell myself the real. The real was that person still alive. At least I know the truth. God bless me to be able to find out the truth, and the truth hurts sometimes, but it's only temporary. As long as that person is doing well, because if you truly love somebody, you want them to go and be happy. You want them to do what's best for them, but you don't want them to try to hold you up, take you down, because that shows they don't love or value you, or don't think nobody else that love and value you matter. It's all about what they want. Be here for me. You know what I'm saying? Case my shit don't work out, still be here for me. Tell these women, tell these men the truth. Let them go. Let them go be happy, or let them just sit by themselves and let them marinate and heal through their journey. Stop telling people false lies and pretending like you want to be with them all the time. You don't. Just because you're scared you're going to be totally alone should something not work out. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to end this pre-recorded live. I hope you guys got a better idea of who I am. And if you don't, just ask any questions in the comments, and I will most definitely answer. I'm going to be checking this actual pre-recorded live probably 2 or 3 times a day to make sure, because sometimes I don't get the notifications that somebody left a comment. I will have to like just come back and check. And other times I'll be on my phone and the notification scroll by and I will see it, you know. But anyway, y'all enjoy y'all Wednesday. And I'll see y'all on the next live. Anybody that wants to come on the panel, don't forget to put in the comments or email me at readyrocks1966@gmail.com. And you have to let me know that you email me, because I'm not going to necessarily check that either. So get under one of my long form videos or my shorts and say, hey, I emailed you, or I want to get on your next live panel and to tell my story, or I just want to hang out with you and just have some fun. And there's no stress, no pressure about going live. You don't even have to show yourself. Again, my email address is readyrocks1966 at gmail. It's spelled READIIROX, another X, 1966 at gmail.com. I'll talk to y'all later. Mwah. Love y'all.